Let's talk about something that might surprise you. Repetition is not the enemy of creativity. Done right, it's actually what gives you the freedom to be truly creative. Most new teachers think they need to reinvent the wheel every single week. They spend hours crafting completely new sequences, trying to keep things fresh and interesting. But here's what I've learned after over 2 decades of teaching. Your students don't need you to be a circus performer. They need you to be consistent and they need you to be reliable. That's how they learn and that's how they grow. This is where repeat, the third element of serve, becomes your best friend. Think about your favorite restaurant. Do you go there because they completely change their menu every week? Of course not. You go because they do certain things really, really well consistently. That doesn't mean they never add new dishes or seasonal specials, but their foundation stays solid. The same principle applies to your yoga teaching. When you find sequences that work, that hit all the elements of your 642 framework, that your students respond well to, that feel good in your body, repeat them, build on them, make them your signature dishes. Here's how I approach repetition in my own teaching and what I teach in Mastering the Art of Yoga Sequencing, my mentorship program. I work with monthly lesson plans. Let's say March is my greatest hits recipe. You have access to it in the zone at Comfort Zone Yoga. I've got the base recipe sequence that includes my 6 spine moves, 4 leg lines, and 2 core actions. Then instead of creating 4 completely different classes for that month, I create variations on that theme sequence. Week 1 might be the full sequence as written. Week 2, I might add in some different arm variations or spend more time in certain poses. Week 3, I might approach the same shapes from a more energizing angle. And week 4 could be the more mellow version. By the way, this also echoes the build and rest periods we periodize in sports training. Your students love this approach because they get to deepen their relationship with poses and movements instead of constantly learning new things. They build familiarity, which creates safety. And safety is what allows them to go deeper, to take risks, to actually transform. For you as the teacher, this approach is incredibly efficient. Instead of spending hours every week planning completely new sequences, you're spending time refining and improving what already works. You get to notice how students respond to different cues, which transitions feel smoother, where you might add challenges or where you might offer more support. In my work with the UNC football team this spring, I used this approach to good effect. The players need consistency. They have enough variables in their classwork and training. So I gave them a foundational sequence they could count on, with subtle variations that kept things interesting without overwhelming them. They got really good at those sequences and then were able to move without needing me to demo. Repetition also builds your confidence as a teacher. When you know a sequence inside and out, when you've taught it multiple times, and when you've refined it based on student feedback, you can focus on the real work of teaching, seeing your students, offering assistance, creating connection. The fear most teachers have about repetition is that their students will get bored. But y'all, here's the truth. Students get bored when they feel disconnected, not when they're repeating poses. If you're teaching with presence, if you're offering variations and modifications, if you're helping students go deeper into their own experience, repetition becomes a gift. Next, we'll explore how you can vary your teaching intentionally so your repetition never becomes stagnation.